That led into high school. I wasn't a great student. They sent me to a boarding school that was predominantly for the arts. I was able to play 3 to 5 hours every single day. I went to college. I majored in music there. Okay, so for music, that was my major. And close towards the very end of undergraduate school, I said, what am I going to do? There was much more talented people than me, and they were hardly making a living. So I said, what else can I do? God, help me out. What can I do with my hands? I was a chiropractor within two weeks or two, whatever. It's very quick. I had this out-of-body experience, okay? Out-of-body experience. I saw this guy working with his hands, and I worked with my hands. I said, okay, can we see this? I said, if this guy can work with his hands and I work with my hands, I could do that. And I had this holographic, you ever have these images in your head, in your brain, in your third eye, that it's already been done, it's already been complete? Have you ever had that moment, that sudden thought flash, you thought about it and it was already there, 10 years, 5 years, whatever it was, a deja vu? I already saw myself as a chiropractor. So before I could think about, this is great, this breeze, before I could think about the physics and the bios and the organic chemistries and all of those things, it was too late for me to be afraid of going to chiropractic college because I'd already created that imprint that I was already a chiropractor. Okay, here's how when you know the universe is aligned. I go back to my friend Iris the next day in speech class. By the way, I was terrified of speaking. And I said, Iris, I know what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a chiropractor. And she says, that's so weird. My brother just got into this chiropractic college in Georgia, and this guy, he's an evangelical lunatic. He loves chiropractic. He's like Billy Graham, but preaching chiropractic. His name was Sid Williams, and I said, I want to meet that guy. So within about 2 or 3 or 4 months, I don't know when it was exactly, sight unseen, I just wanted to meet this guy. And I was down enrolled in Life University back in 1991. That's my story. It happened so fast. There was no research. All I knew was this. I said, if I could make like $75,000, if I could make $100,000 a year, but love what I did, and I knew that I was going to love it because I got to work with my hands, I would never work a day in my life. And that's what happened. Okay, now, my mentors. Arnaud Bernier. Anyone who has not heard of Arnaud Bernier, raise your hand. It's okay if you have not heard of him. Okay, we've all heard of him. Great. That's my guy. That's my #1 mentor. I've stayed with him. I shadowed him when he was still in practice. He stayed at my house when I had him come in for the Northern Virginia Chiropractic Society, of where I was president, twice. Reggie Gold didn't stay at my house, but I had him speak for the Northern Virginia Chiropractic Society. I wanted to bring Sid Williams in. He wouldn't. Didn't even respond to my phone calls or emails. He was too busy. And Donnie Epstein. So Donnie Epstein, Reggie Gold, Sid Williams, Arnaud Bernier, and to a side note, Tom Gilardi. High level of respect. I went to all 4 of those lyceums and a whole bunch of other seminars where I got a chance to meet Tom Gilardi, but I can't say he was in my inner circle because I didn't see him as enough as I did with Sid Williams. But those are my 5 guys. That's my Mount Rushmore. So I felt I had a pretty good Mount Rushmore, right? I said, what I have learned from these guys, I have to be an idiot to not go into practice and to not be able to be successful, right? Is that what you're thinking maybe, right? So I opened a practice. I knocked on 3,000 doors, and nothing happened. Like nothing. Like, where was all the people coming in that all my mentors said that would show up? Just open your doors, and everyone's going to start showing up in your office. Had anyone ever hear that before? Yeah? Let me hear, give me a show of yes. You've heard that? Open your practice, just open up, and they're all going to show up? You hear that? Okay. Okay, show of hands. I want to see. Okay, did that happen, Dr. Jordan? Fuck no, right? Didn't fucking happen. Is anyone mind if I say the F-bomb?
Yes.
You do mind? Okay, I say it a lot. I shouldn't. Sorry, Phoebe. That's my wife. So it didn't happen. I was devastated. Totally devastated. So I called my friend Adam, who had a spinal screening. You know Adam. And he said, let's do a screening. So we did a screening, and like 5 people he signed up. But the problem was I didn't have a day 1 and day 2. I didn't know how to handle these people. So I said, geez, what am I going to do? So as president of the Northern Virginia Chiropractic Society, now I love Arnaud. I love Arnaud Bernier. I'm going to just put it out there because there might be someone here that have heard the same thing. My mentor Arnaud said, Phil, you're so talented. You're so passionate about chiropractic. Just go out there and serve humanity. Don't worry about scripts. Don't worry about what you're going to say. It'll come through you. Let you yourself be the hollow vessel, right? So I believed him, and I did that. And it fucking sucked. I didn't know what to say. I felt like an idiot. Like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes they came in and they got into care, sometimes they didn't. And I had no rhyme or there was no science behind it. And it drove me nuts because I realized if you want, look, boxing is an art, but it's also a science. It takes 2 years to learn how to punch from the toe. It takes 2 years to learn how to throw a punch. Martial arts, it's the same thing. It's an art, but it's also a science. Doing a day 1 and a day 2 is a science if you know how to apply the science. And that's what I'm going to, hopefully, if we get enough time, give you the science of what I've developed. Okay? So a guy named Eric Plasker, again, I had the opportunity as president to hobnob and drive around the speakers that we brought into Northern Virginia. And Eric Plasker was a guy, and he and I bonded, really bonded like brothers. And that didn't happen like that often. Me and Reggie didn't bond at all. Reggie came in, he was very, very professional, came in. He wouldn't even stay at my house. He wouldn't even let me pick him up at the airport. But I picked up Eric, and we bonded. The next day after he left, he said, listen, I know you don't want coaching. Because I said, nope, I'm good. I got my Arno guy. And he said, but I'm going to give you, if you want, a gift, a full free year of coaching. I said, wow. Like I felt my soul move. I said, okay, thank you. Now, 2 or 3 or 4 days later, I received this big box of goodies. I'm going back. VHS tapes, audio tapes, books, manuals. They weren't even having CDs. Forget about thumb drives. They had like all this like old school stuff. But a day later, I was riding my mountain bike. I flipped over, landed on my shoulder, separated my shoulder. I was out for 3 weeks. So guess what I did for those 3 weeks? Study. 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. I memorized everything. I did a whole year worth in 3 weeks. It was a gift from the universe that allowed me to separate my shoulder, to pull myself out of practice. I came back in a new man. David Gooden, still remember the guy's name. I did the script. Dude, I had cheat sheets because I wasn't so sure about the script, but I wrote the stuff that I couldn't remember on the thing. It was hanging down, so I'm like, so David, if I asked you to be here twice a week, can you be here? Like, that was how bad it was, but I did it, and he said yes. I said, okay. I got a person that accepted care, and I could do this again. Every single time I did it, I got better, and I got better, and I got better. And that was the birth of Golisnky specific chiropractic. Can we see anything here?
I'm fighting against the sun, and the sun's
okay. Look, I'm going to have to freeball this thing right now because I got a lot of cool statistics, but
this is
man. Can we see this? Okay. It's there, I promise. Okay, so I know we can't see this, so I'm gonna talk through it. How do we? I guess I just.
Gotta press the right.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna tell you everything. I'm gonna tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not gonna say it was so great when I first got into practice because it wasn't so great when I first got into practice. It was hard. I went through a nervous breakdown. I had panic attacks. My first 3 or 4 years, actually the first year and a half, I had panic attacks because I had so much pressure on myself from all my mentors that said, you're going to do great because you have the philosophy and you have the technical ability. All that stuff that they said I had, I put the pressure on myself. It wasn't so great. And if you're going through that, if someone is out there that's going through that, it's fine, it's normal, those are real emotions. And you're not the first person to ever have those emotions, okay? Arno had them as well. Dude, we commiserated so much. He goes, Phil, I went through a nervous breakdown too. I go, you did? He goes, yeah. He goes, it was hard until he figured it out, okay? So my first years, my first 3 or 4 years, I went from $65,000. Hold on a second. It says it here. I got to find my. There we go. Okay. I know. To 105, and after that, I guess to 1999 when I got a coach, I went to about $500,000. Okay, that's where we were at. Then we slow grew to about $900,000. I never broke 7 figures my first 17 years of practice. Never broke it. Never broke 7 figures. It was always one of those things that like you hear from coaches, if you break 7 figures, you're successful. Anyone ever hear that? They've been saying that for the last 30 years. 7 figures, okay? I never did it. I get divorced, I remarry, I met this girl named Phoebe. Ever see, anyone see my Instagram stuff? Anyone? Well, you have. You know my wife, right? The little Asian girl, that's my wife, okay? She's on it periodically. And so she is a business executive consultant. She scaled multi-billion-dollar businesses in her other life. She fell in love with natural health care, okay? One day, 2017, she was working with Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson. And behind the scenes, these big pharma companies all work together. Don't think they are in competition when people aren't looking. They work with each other. They do market research. They are very, very in cahoots to know what's coming up the pike. So they come up to her, they go, Phoebe, we need you to put these product lines through quicker than we expected. And she said, why? They have to go through the whole cycle revenue, right? And they said, well, the pendulum is shifting. This is back in 2017. The pendulum is shifting towards natural healthcare. And she said, really? So here's one thing about consultants. They always follow the money. Okay, consultants follow the money. But she also knew at this point she was never going to sell her soul and follow the money, because I've been telling her all the time that big pharma and what they do and what they act and what they stand for. And she said, Phil, we're going to work together, because I've been asking her to work together with me for the last 3 years. But she says, we're going to do it my way. Now, big four consultants, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte, KPMG, Ernst & Young. Anyone ever heard those things, those consulting companies? You have, right? Okay, what are they all about?
Oh, I just heard KPMG is like some high-level business sort of thing.
They play big. So Phoebe said, but if we're going to do it, we're not going to just do it. We're going to do it to do it, like play big. So 2017 or 2018, we rebranded to RX Wellness. Okay, that was our first rebrand. It's only been around for 2018, since 2018. So the trajectory was we broke through, and I feel like a third grade teacher, right? Miss Cherubino, right? And that was 2018. 2019, we did 2 more practices, okay? I got the slides, I really here. But then 2020, what happens? COVID happens, right? So we didn't build another practice. But 2021, I believe we had like a couple, 2021 to 2024, we did 3 or 4 more, okay? I don't remember exactly what, so I'm gonna just tell you. What's that? 3 or 4 more. 2025, that was the point of inflection. 2025, we did 5, okay? The first couple of years, and I'm gonna tell you this, because if someone's having this inspiration to do multiple, to go big, I would recommend this. Build one, build it well. Build a second one, do it well. Build a third. Don't start buying at 3 or 4. You got to build enough where you can't micromanage them all at one time. When it's so big, like when it's way over your head and you start having to create systems. Because the systems is what I'm going to teach you, is how to build one really good one, okay? Then, if you want more of that, if you're ready, you come to me and I'll give this to you. I'll give you the other stuff. But this is not for this. But when we had enough systems to do a shared service middle management company, when Phoebe and I were on top, and I didn't have to micromanage all the boots on the ground, we had shared service management team, people coming in to manage the doctors. When I say fix things up, that's when we were able to start buying and integrating and acquiring. Okay, now I'll say this. Building is hard. Integrating is harder. When you're trying to integrate culture, that is the most difficult, challenging thing, because you can't control that. You can't control, you try to manage culture, but if you're buying a company in Chicago and you already have this thing in Virginia, Maryland, and you're going to try to integrate their culture into your culture, that could take a year or 2. Versus building something, you hire the people, you train the people, you're training the systems that you want them to learn. So to acquire something isn't as easy as it looks. It might look cool, it might look easy, but that's a lot harder. But why do we do it? Because it's a lot quicker. Okay, now I'm going to just tell you the end in mind, because I hopefully can inspire you guys to know why we're doing this. We want to be the first $1 billion valuation in chiropractic, natural health care. And I'll tell you why $1 billion is that number. Because no one gives a shit about $100 million. It's a big number to all of us, but it doesn't inspire Wall Street to want to go into an industry. So if you've seen physical therapy, they've been rolled up. Veterinarian, they've been rolled up. Optometry, they've been rolled up. But no one's really rolled up chiropractic. I want us to be the first company that Wall Street rolls up at $1 billion level, because I want that to be the motivation and inspiration for fear of missing out. That's when Wall Street starts paying attention to our companies, our industry. Now, why? Because a rising tide, boats rise, right? When you have a rising tide, when you have Wall Street money, now people have said, is it going to take away the artistry? Fox, has it taken away the artistry?
No, I'm having a blast. It's awesome.
Fonzie,
I get to do exactly what I want.
have I told you how to practice? Promise? If you have a business side and you have the artistry side, it's a beautiful blend. And honestly, I think it's artists, and I know it because I was a musician, we don't have a business brain. We haven't developed a business brain. I had to develop it because it was a default that if I wanted to do something, I had to figure it out. But there's a lot of artists that I know. Look, Famous musicians, they lose all their money because their brains weren't developed to be the business side. My wife can't adjust an atlas because that's not the way her brain was developed, right? So if you have a business side and you have the artist side, it allows the artists to freely do their work. And I think as a profession, if we don't fuck it up, we can actually do it really well. And now be the representative to natural healthcare for the public. And be at the same, not that we're trying to compete with the medical doctors or the dentists, but if you take a look at dentistry nowadays compared to what it was 20 years ago, they're much more high end. You walk into a dental office, you're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Okay, who's been in my office? Phil, you have. How many offices have you been into besides,
Just that one.
okay. You like it?
Love it.
What was so good about it?
Cleanliness, the flow, the emotions it evoked as I walked in with my family.
So it was open, it was clean, right? It's high end, modern. The office that I had originally was very low end. It was like $3,000 or $4,000 is what I started out with. It didn't emit respect from people. Now, I didn't know. Stupidly, I was very, very oblivious. But when Wall Street or business starts to work with us as a profession, they're going to want us to say, hey, make this cleaner. Make it where people want to come and visit you. You might have the great skills in the world, but I'm telling you, first impressions count. So if there's going to be one thing that you're going to take out of this talk, one thing and one thing, make your office look great. Put as much money as you can without going broke into making your office look really, really, really appealing. That's a must-have because first impressions always count. I promise you, when a person walks into RX Wellness, they're just about signed up. All we got to do is not mess it up, right, Fox?
Yep.
We got fucking bubble walls my wife wanted to put up. Describe those bubble walls.
They're a pain, but they're beautiful.
I know, they are a pain.
Kids love them, that's what it is.
They're bubble walls. They're bubbles all around, so people see them and the patients love them, but it makes a lot of noise. But all this stuff is to allow the patients to have this wow effect. You want the patients to feel wowed, and if you don't like the word patients, use the word people. You want the people that walk into your office to feel wowed. Is this the first time you're hearing this ever in chiropractic? Or have you heard this before? Dylan, I know you've heard this. What about you? First time?
No.
Good, good. Because I never heard this when I was in school, okay? Truth be told, if I had heard this, I might have done things differently when I first got into practice. So I don't know how far our profession has evolved, but I'm just telling you what I want you, what I think you should know to be successful. Now, here's what happened. We're going to talk about how we can get to $1 million or more in an office, okay, by the first year and a half. I won't say the first 12 months because there's certain things that you have to prepare for to get to that level. I'm going to move this back a little bit just so I can show you. And I'm going to read these things out because this should be on a slide. First of all, definition of a principal chiropractor. You focus on the nerve system, right? We emphasize and correcting vertebral subluxations to improve nerve system functions, right? We don't just aim for symptom relief. We focus on structural correction, neurological function, and wellness care. Definition of a successful business. Simply stated, a successful business, according to ChatGPT, makes money, helps people, keeps doing both forever and ever and ever over the long term. Can we agree on that? Principal chiropractic, successful business. That's it. So the goal is today to have a successful business still abiding by principal chiropractic care. And it's possible. Now, rule number one, I got a couple of isms. I think Dr. Saida, she's not with us right now, but we call them isms. My first rule of isms is this. You can't scale complexity. You can only scale simplicity. So everything I give you is going to be simple. So if it seems so easy, it's too good to be true, I promise you. Fox, who else is here with me? Fonzie, Yara, right? Chrissy, you all know. And Celeste, you all know. Simple shit, right? Pretty simple, right, Celeste? Okay. You can't scale complexity. That's rule number one. Rule number two, culture is everything. Culture is everything. Write that down. If you're going to take another thing away, culture, culture, culture. You got to be the guy or girl that blows oxygen into your staff. If you walk in on a bad day and keep on having bad days, it's going to manifest. If you have that good day and keep on having good days and build people up, it's going to manifest. Don't tear people down. Always teach them chiropractic care. Every 2 weeks, I'm on the phone with my adjusting doctors and I'm giving chiropractic philosophy. Right, Fonzie? Everything I'm going to tell you, we have people that can say he's accurate or he's lying, okay? But why do I do that? Because it's important that every single doctor has the philosophy. So I'm teaching the 33 principles. Every other week, it's another principle. That's another principle. Helps me get back to my roots. I learned those principles from Stevenson, from Joe Strauss, and from David Serio's books. Those 3 books, to me, I integrate them, and I get to teach them the 33 principles. The adjusting doctors, they get the principles and also the procedures of chiropractic care that they need to know. And the lead doctors, I'm teaching them day 1s and day 2s. But everything is based upon simplicity. Rule number 3, never be afraid to fail. If you're too afraid to fail, you will never be successful. Successful people have probably failed more times than people that are afraid to fail. So let me say that again. Successful people have failed more times than people who were afraid to fail because they never even tried. They never got out there. So never be afraid to fail. However, if you're going to fail once and fail fast, but never fail again for the same time. Never do it again. Never fail a second time doing it the same way. If you fail, pivot, figure it out how to be more successful. But if you're going to fail again, make sure it's different. And keep on trying until you're finally successful. Never quit, but never be afraid to fail. And rule number 4, never compromise your principles. Okay, never compromise. If someone's telling you to say certain things, if I'm telling you to say certain things that just doesn't sit with you, don't say it. Just don't do it. If it rubs you the wrong way, don't do it, because I promise you, if what I'm teaching you, which works for me and works for my docs, if it's not going to work for you here or here, then don't do it, because I'm telling you, your people that you're saying this to will absolutely know it's not coming from you. So never compromise your principles. All right. Numbers. Tape this, because you can't see it, and this is really important. Or just write it down. Numbers you must know as a business owner. Marketing time versus money. Time versus money. In the very, very, very beginning of practice, everybody has a lot of time and not a lot of money. As you start to build your practice, let's say doing spinal screenings, doing dinner talks, doing health fairs, you have less time and you have more money. Right or wrong? You start to acquire a little bit more money, we have a little less time. To build freedom is to leverage that money and buy back time by delegating it to a person that can maybe help do these things for you. First person that I hired after 18 months was someone to answer my phones. It was so great when someone said, Dr. Phil's office, and I didn't have to answer the phone. It was such a, like a sigh of relief, because I could leverage a little bit of money to pay a person to save me time. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is acquisition cost. How much does it cost to acquire a patient in your office? Who's in private practice right now? Raise your hand. Okay, we got a bunch of people. And if you're not in practice, just know you're going to need to know this. How much money does it cost to acquire a patient? So let's say you don't do spinal screenings. You just do digital marketing. And you invest $1,000 every single month, plus you're spending $1,000 every single month on your website. So that's $2,000 every single month on your marketing, right? And let's say you get in 10 patients every single month. Fair or not? They're just making up numbers. So you're dividing 10 into that $2,000, just $200 per patient. Now, let's say 5 people were referred into your office, okay? Now instead of 10, it's 15. So divide 15 into $2,000, and that is whatever the numbers is. How much? $150? Whatever it is. But instead of $200 a visit or $200 a patient, it's $150 a patient, okay? That's important to know, because here's what's next. On average, how much are you earning per patient? What's your patient visit average, your patient visit care plan? If you're only making $200 on average for your care plan, then you don't want to invest $200 to acquire a patient. But if you're making $2,000 on average for your care plan, you absolutely, how many times in a month do you want to invest $200 or $200 for a patient? As many times as possible. That's like investing in Amazon or in Bitcoin or in NVIDIA like 10 years ago. If you knew that you were throwing money into these investments and they were going to come back 10x, you would do it every step of the way. But you got to know what your patient acquisition cost is, and you got to know what your average care plan is. Also, just as important is what's your conversions. So let me make sure I'm in order. Acquisition cost, overall acceptance rate for new patients' conversions. So of those, let's say, 10 people that come in per month, by the way, you should have more than that. Of those 10 people that come in per month, that's your new patients. How many become a paying patient? Day 1, day 2, I have accepted care. How many of those people become patients? If it's 5, on average, it's $1,000. It's $2,000. 5 times $2,000, that's a $10,000 a month. Right, does that make sense? You put in $2,000 for marketing, $1,000 from your digital marketing, $1,000 for your website. That's all you put in. There's a lot more than that, by the way. I'm just being very simple. You put in $2,000, you're coming out with $10,000. Let's say your overall acceptance rate from 10 patients, because you got better at it, you weren't 50%, you were 80%. Okay, let's say of the 10, 8 became patients. Now that's $16,000. You see how this works? Everything matters, and you got to have very, very tight statistics. I'm going to show you what I do in a moment. Okay, lifetime value, we talked about that. Patient visit average. Okay, you calculate over a full year. I like full year. Sometimes my staff does 3 months. It's not as accurate. Go as far back as you can, a whole year. So you'll take the amount of visits that you've seen per the year and divide that by the amount of new patients. That's your patient visit average. It's good to know that, because if you're finding that your patient visit average is only about 10, then you're not teaching them chiropractic. If it's above 30 or 40, you're starting to understand that they understand wellness. You're teaching them chiropractic care, and that's where you want to be. Some people are 100, some people are 200. Some people, only saw like 8 people in a month. 8 new people in a month. But the people that came in stayed forever. I would dare say his patient visit average was like maybe 200. It didn't rely on this roller coaster thing, okay? So know that, and that gives you a guide of not how much money you're making, but just how well you're doing for educating your people, okay? Patient visit value, and this is very, very, very important. This is a business class, right, guys? Patient visit value. Divide the number of patients seen by the gross revenue for the same time period. That's your patient visit value. Let me take a drink of water. I'm going to tell you why that's very important. Okay. Your patient visit value is one of the major KPIs that you're going to reverse engineer, along with weekly number of patients, to figure out how you can reverse engineer the amount of money you want to make. I don't care if it's $1 million. I don't care if it's $500,000. It's what you want it to be. It's what you want it to be. It's what you feel comfortable with. But when you have your patient visit value and what you're seeing or what you want to see per week, you can reverse engineer everything, and I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay, so it says roadmap for $1 million. 2 KPIs. How many people do you want to see? What does the office earn on each visit on average? What does the office earn on each visit on average? That's your PVV, patient visit value. Okay, so let's take it down to the basics. Yeah, it's going to be tough. This is important. Okay, if your PVV, just pass this around. If your PVV, patient visit value, is 20, is 60, you're going to divide by 20. Okay, 20 divided by 60 is how much? 3. If your patient visit value is 80, and you divide by 20, how much is your patient visit value? Not a quick question. This is very, very simple. And when you see how this works, you'll be like, holy crap, this is amazing. If your patient visit value is 120 and you're going to divide by 20, what's the patient visit value? That's it. Okay. If you're seeing 100 people a week and you multiply that by 6, because your patient visit value is 120, 100 times 6 is $600,000. That's how much you're making. Do the numbers right now. Someone figure it out. Jordan, you're a smart guy. He's my science guy. If you're seeing 500 people a week and your patient visit value is 100, 100 divided by 20 is 5. 5 times 500 people a week is $2.5 million. If you're seeing 200 people a week and your patient visit value is 200, 200 divided by 20 is 10. 10 times 200 is $2 million. You see how you figure it out? That's why how much you see in a week and your patient visit value is so important. Does that make sense? Is anybody not getting that? I just did that really quickly. You got it or not got it? Yeah? What's your name? Lexi. Nice to meet you. I'm Phil. Anyone not got it? I got to know. Because before we move on, I got to make sure. Okay. So, how many people do you want to see in a year? In a week? Just give me a number. Yeah.
Let's say
200, okay. And on average, what do you want your cost to be? What are you going to charge your patients?
How do you think about that? Let's say, what would you say?
It's not for me, it's for you. I can't tell you what, because I'm, what's your vision?
Generational wealth.
Generational wealth. They would $100 a visit? Okay, so what's 20 divided by 100?
What?
20 divided by 100.
I'm bad on that.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
100 divided by 20.
100 divided by 20. I'm sorry. You're right.
Give them fractions, man.
I am. 100 divided by 20 is what? 5. 5, right? What's 5 times 200 that you wanted to see? It's $1 million.
Okay.
That's what you'd be making if you had an average $100 visit value and you're seeing 200 people a week.
Where'd you get the 20 from?
It's an ism. I just found it out. It's an accurate number. That's your common denominator, yes?
What was your break? I think people are missing this. What was your breakdown for understanding patient visit?
Okay, so you're going to see how much money you made in a year. Divide that by how many people in the entire year you saw. That's your patient visit value. So if you saw 10,000 people and you made, let's say, $1 million divided by 10,000 into $1 million, what's that number? $100 visit value. That's it. Simple as that. You got to know your patient visit value. Okay, so you're going to decide how many people a week, how many people you saw the entire year, and how much money you made gross, not how much money you kept, how much money you brought in. Okay, and that's the number, that's the patient visit value. These two numbers are the most important numbers. I'm going to bring this guy up to speak, man. He stole the show last time. But that's the two numbers, if you're going to come out with anything, Corinne, those two numbers. How many people a week are you seeing, and how much money on average are you receiving? So here's what I see. The reason why I'm really laying this down, I see a lot of people that have these family plans, whatever the plans are. You're going to pay $200 a week and come in as many times as you want, and you got a family of 4. Now, what happens is this. These families start coming in 3 times a week, and they got a family of 4 people. That's 4, 8, 12. That's 12 people a week, 48 people in a month. 48 divided by 200 is what? What's that number? Phil? 4. That's a $4 patient visit value. You're never going to make money that way. People do that, and they wonder why they're always going broke. You've got to know your patient visit value, and I'm being really strict on that because as much as I love serving humanity through chiropractic, I want to see you guys not starve. I want to see you artists live a very robust life. I want to see you have generational wealth. I do. If that's what you want, that's what I want for you. Okay? So that's why we're doing this right now. I need that computer because I need to know where I'm at right now. I think the next one is...
Florida?
Yeah, Pearson, man, I love that. So I think next one is our KPIs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, boy, can we get this thing on maybe? This is
Try it again.
Yeah, let's try it
It's
again.
getting a little bit darker.
Yeah. And the reason why is this one. The last one is, it wasn't that difficult, right? Pretty simple. KPIs. This one is 14 KPIs that come in every Friday. I had my butt buzzing yesterday because I had 12 offices coming out with, there is I got all these comments. Hold on a second. Okay. So I say just this is, and just pass my phone around. That's the KPIs. If you can't see it there, the first one is going to be Yelp reviews. Second one is going to be Google reviews. I'm going to talk about why are those two the first 2 KPIs that are really important. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's pass it the other way first because I got it first. Sorry about that. You guys get to see it first. Okay, so I'm getting this every Friday. I get all my offices, and why? Because I can't manage all of my offices all at once. I got to manage through statistics, and every single statistic I have to know what it means. So the first one is Yelp. The second one is Google. I strongly, highly recommend you get your asses on getting your patients to write Yelp reviews. Why? Has anybody heard of ChatGPT? Raise your hands. Raise your hands, guys, if you've not heard. Okay, ChatGPT directly uses Yelp reviews. If you're not getting Yelp reviews, ChatGPT doesn't give a shit about you. Gemini cares about Google reviews. Okay? If you're not in the 3-pack, okay, for Google reviews, who's not in a 3-pack? You know what a 3-pack is? Okay, the 3-pack. When you're looking at, say, someone, a restaurant, there's going to be 3 restaurants or 3 doctors or 3 something in the Google Maps. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay. The more reviews you get, the more you're going to spin your Google business page into the life spiral. When you all first start out, you're in a death cycle. You're at the bottom. You have no reviews. You've got chiropractic offices that have been there for 10, 15 years. They've got 400 reviews. You're nothing, and you're not getting anybody from the internet. But if you start getting reviews every single week now, the first and second statistic of my KPI is Yelp reviews and is Google reviews. It's still important. You know why? Because if I have, and I do have 1,200 reviews in Herndon, no one's going to come close to us. But if I don't consistently get reviews, then I become irrelevant to Google. The Google engine says they don't care about me anymore, so I'm going to drop them. But if I continue feeding them love, they continue giving me love by allowing me to be in their 3-pack. And that's how you keep yourself in a life spiral, okay? Yelp, that's much tougher. You have to get people part of the Yelp community. It's not like Google where every single Google counts. You like this one? Slater! Fuck yeah, man. So Yelp is important. It sucks. I hate it, but I know that Google and ChatGPT is going to become very, very integrated with Yelp. So consistently get Yelp and Google. The next one is going to be, I think, durable medical equipment. Why? It adds value to the patient visit value. If you take insurance, we give out DMEs, durable medical equipments, back braces, okay? I do things, it's not straight chiropractic. And quite frankly, if I heard me speak 30 years ago, I'd hate my guts. This motherfucker's a mixer. I would. I'd be calling me a mixer. So if you think that, I understand. I love you for it. I was there. And if you want to have a conversation on that subject, we can speak after. I'm totally open to all conversations. Okay? But I now am integrated. Okay? As I've gotten older, I'm 58 years old. As I've gotten older, I was a competitive bodybuilder. And I'm also, surprised, a very small guy. All my male patients are bigger than me. The damage I've done to my shoulders without getting surgery has allowed me to go to Colombia, get stem cells, fully heal, and I can actually do this to patients, bring in a nurse practitioner, give stem cells, have them avoid surgery where chiropractic would not help them. I did it. That's how I started my road to doing other things outside of just chiropractic care. Okay? That's my story. By the way, I don't judge, because remember, I was an upper cervical only GPC, God patient chiropractic for my first 3 months. I had a box in the wall when I first opened up. I wasn't going to take cash. I was never going to even ask for a price. My service is so valuable, I can't put a price tag on chiropractic, and I was just only doing upper cervical. So that's how, that's where I was. But DMEs, what else do I have? Let me see what we got. Okay, so, can we see? Or is it too bright?
The sun just blocked.
All right. Google reviews, DMEs, new patients. You got to know how many new patients you're getting in. Lead to new patient conversion. That's an important KPI. Write this down, guys, because lead to new patient conversions. You might have 20 leads coming in, but if you're only converting 4 new patients, there's a problem with your communication. You got to text, you got to call, you got to email 3 times the first day. Text, call, email, text, call, email, text, call, email. The first 3 days when you get a lead for that person to convert at about, what, Dylan, about a 50 or 60 or 70%? Yes, 70%. Text, call, email. 3 times the first day. The next day you do it, the second you do it another time, just twice. You don't want to be a pain in the ass. But the third time you just text, call, email one more time, and that's it. So 3 + 2 + 1, a total of 6 times. That's to get 70% of the lead capture of your leads. Okay? When I see some of my offices only having a 10 or 15% lead capture, I know they're not doing what I'm asking them to do because I have 11 other offices that are doing it. And one office is like, my patients are different. Bullshit. It is what it is. The patients are the same, but their activity is different. Okay? So lead capture is done through texting, calling, and emails, and that's digital. People are calling you, but they're calling other people as well. Okay? So I'm going to tell you, write this down. This is gold. This is gold nuggets. 7 to 1, 1 to 7. Write that down. 7 to 1, 1 to 7. Or remember it if you're not going to write it down. Those are my hours. Someone calls me at 8 o'clock at night. We're closed. So is everyone else. You think they're calling just RX Wellness? Or you think they're calling like 3 or 4 other offices? Probably 3 or 4 other offices, right? Who are they going to go see the next day?
One who answered.
That's right, the one that calls first. That's who they're going to go see. And if we're open at 7 o'clock, and we call them at 7:30, and we get Mary in by 9 o'clock. And then the other offices have office hours from 10 to 1 and 1 to 7, 10 to 4, or 10 to 1 and 4 to 7. That office didn't call Mary until 11 o'clock. Mary already came and saw us and gets the phone call from another chiropractic office. Hey, Mary, it's so-and-so's office. We heard that you called. Oh, I've already been seen. Oh, well, that's great, Mary. If you ever need us, just give us a call. 7 to 1, 1 to 7. Have those hours, okay? That's how you capture leads. You get there before everyone else. Yeah, you got to work a little bit more, but I promise you, the aggravation is absolutely worth the rewards. You want new patients? Show up. You want new patients? Work harder. You want new patients to stay? Get really good at your artistry. Why do you think I came here? Because I want you guys to win, okay? I want every single person to win. You guys put the time to be artists, come here to Pearson, Florida, taking truck showers at truck stops, all right? I'm here right now doing this thing from Yena, and I'm wishing, I hope the guy in front of me doesn't fart in my face. I'm going to be here for you guys, and I want you guys to win, okay? So I'm telling you all of my gold nuggets, okay? And I'm promising you guys, if you do it this way, your life will be easier. Second one is this, is game plan. New patients is the first one, is game plan. Your game plan is your second visit. You want to call it report of finding, that's great. But if only 50%, because you're not good at your day one, if only 50% of the people convert to your day two, we got a problem. And let me tell you why. Because if you're only going to capture 80% of the people that show up for day two, and only 50% of the people show up from day one to day two, then your overall conversion is really down like at 25%. But if you can get 90% of the people coming in from day one to day two and capture 80% of that, now you're talking about 70%, and that's how you build a business. You don't build businesses by 20% or 30% capture. You build it at 70%, 80%, but you got to be good. And let me tell you something, guys, your day one is everything. If you can build your urgency on day one to a 7, 8, 9, or 10, an urgency level, I'm going to show you how to do that if we have time. If you could build your urgency level at a 7, 8, 9, 10, you will get them as a patient. You can really not be great on your day two, but if you come in for your day one and a person's like, I have this, and you, look, I take x-ray. I didn't for 17 years. I didn't take x-ray for 17 years. I rebranded, I had an x-ray unit. The first time I took an x-ray and this person saw all this crap in their spine, I didn't have to tell her what she was looking at. She saw what she was looking at. She said, oh my God, it's worse than I thought. Yeah, it is, Mary. What are we going to do about it? Well, what can we do about it? That's basically how the conversation went. And from that point on, my life was different. I ran a practice for 17 years without x-ray. I've been in practices now for 8 years with x-ray. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't have x-ray because of my mentor, Arnaud. And he did fantastic. I didn't have his charisma that only Arnaud had. And I'm telling you guys, you don't have to take x-ray, but if you do have x-ray, your life will be easier. Again, no judgment, do what you want to do. I'm giving you my playbook. I'm giving you my play. And by the way, I don't coach for money. You can't pay me to do this stuff because I have enough doctors in my offices right now that I'm teaching all the time that I'm not a professional coach. I'm doing this for you guys. And where's Yara? Dr. Yara. Have I changed anything? Am I lying about anything so far? 100%, right? If I'm lying about, if I change the playbook for these guys that I'm telling you different, you're going to call me out? Okay, damn right she will. She's all about integrity. If I say even word different, she say, Phil, no way, you didn't say that. So, game plan and acceptance of care. From day two to acceptance of care. Those are important, okay? There's going to be a couple of people that just aren't qualified people that come in from, let's say, 30 miles away on an Uber. They smell like they're stoned or drunk. They're not really there. They just came in for your Groupon ad, and you just know that they're not a real qualified patient. Those are punts. Okay, punts don't count as a qualified new patient. They just don't, because you're going to get people that just don't qualify. A gift certificate you gave out for a holiday special, June comes on in and it's Aunt Mary from Arkansas. She's only there for a week. That's not a qualified patient. I'd call those people punts. So we have those people that just don't qualify. Let's keep
Google review.
Okay, how do we get Google? Fox, lay it out.
Well, if you get a punt like that,
Yes.
you ask them to fill out a Google review. And they're not going to come back, but they'll still help you get people to come back in the future because you're getting into the system.
So let me tell you how we say this. Fox, on your next visit, would you like a free next visit?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Can I ask you, Hugh, did you have a good visit this time?
Yeah.
Good. Here's my QR code. I want you to scan this QR code while I write your notes down. If you write me a killer kick-ass Google review, your next visit is no charge. 50% of those people will not show up, but the Google review lasts forever. The Google review lasts forever. We get 5 Google reviews on average for every single office. That's a hack of what we do. We don't pay people for Google reviews. That's unethical. Don't offer gift certificates. I don't like that. That rubs me the wrong way. But if you give good care, ask for Google reviews. You want to give a free visit away from a person that's coming from Arkansas? They'll still write they're probably not going to return it. They're probably not going to come in. But if they do, great. You give them a free visit. But you got a Google review forever. Those Google reviews, as they add up in time, it's not a sprint. This is the long game. You're playing this for the long. I have been getting Google reviews for 8, 9, 10 years. And still, on my very first KPIs, it's Google reviews. That's how important they are. I'm not stopping. I'm not allowing a person to come into my locations and take over. Fuck them. I'm still working my ass off. I want them to sweat. I want my nuts to shrink when I walk into Chicago. I want them to know, holy shit, we got to up our level. We got to up our game. We got some competition now. I want them to feel my hand on their throat. That's how you got to be. You want to win in life? That's the attitude you got, and you cannot stop. Where's Zach? Is Zach here? You asked me. What was the question you asked me? Does it ever end?
Is there a finish line?
You tell me. Do I sound like I'm getting close to finishing?
No shot.
There's no finish line, man. You want to win? You every single day you get up and you have the attitude: shoot the wounded, eat the dead. That's it. That is it, man. You have that attitude. Why do you think I brought this guy up, man? All right. We talked about the death spiral. We talked about, okay, here's what it all comes down to. Twin funnels. Again, patient volume per week, patient visit value. So let me tell you how we can increase the patient volume. Your marketing, okay? New patients is your day 1, your day 2, your acceptance of care, your PVA, keeping the patient's visit value up, and your weekly visits. That's how we're going to talk about that as much time as I have. How much more time do I have, Adam?
You got 40 minutes.
Good. All right, good. PVV is your standard treatment program, okay? If you want to include regenerative medicine, PRP, stem cells, I do that stuff. It works, it's ethical, and it absolutely increases your patient visit value like you don't even know, okay? Durable medical equipment, if you want to sell supplements, if you want to sell pillows, that also increases your patient visit value. It's all about your PVV on the second half. If you want to have membership payment systems, that's great. You want to get to the highest level of PVV, patient visit value. Highest level of patient visit value, highest level of visits seen per week. You do that, you do your mathematics, you do your numbers, that's what you're going to make per year. If you're not happy with that, there's 2 things you could do. See more people or charge more money. That's it. It's very simple. Can you guys do that? Am I teaching you guys how to do physics, or is this like, oh yeah, this makes sense? I'm breaking this down. Okay, Lexi?
Yeah.
Are you in practice yet?
I just graduated in September, so.
Congratulations. Where'd you graduate from?
Life University.
Love it, man. I came from Life, by the way. So, congratulations. All right. Step 1. I have it. All right. Why is spinal screening? Now, this is what I'm going to ask you guys to do. I want every single person to scan this. I'm going to go all around, okay? Scan this, if you can. This is my entire script of spinal screenings, okay? And if you can't get it, okay, we're gonna go over it. Okay. Everyone got it here? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, technology, baby.
We make it work.
We're gonna make it work.
Oh, I don't got the.
Okay, you got it? Let me know, guys. Just,
I don't got signal.
you got it?
Also, email it to people.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give it to you, Adam, and you just make it happen.
Yeah, I'll distribute.
Okay. All set, guys? Everyone, you got it? Okay. Now, why do I love spinal screenings? Tell you why I like spinal screenings the best. I'm not saying it's the most effective, because it's not the most effective. but it's the best long term, and let me explain why. Who likes going out to a farmer's market for 8 hours a day in the sun, talking to people, and have nothing to show for it at the very end of the day? Sucks, right? Worst feeling in the world. This makes you get better at communicating because no one wants to walk out with nothing. If you have a system, and this is my system that I sort of like, MacGyvered throughout 30 years, but it also builds the ability to communicate. And what I mean by that is no one's coming in to see a chiropractor when they're at the farmer's market. They're coming in for eggs. They're coming in for their bacon. They're coming in for whatever they're coming in for. And they have a little bit of a sore back, okay? They're not coming in for wellness care, okay? They're coming in because they have a sore back. And they see this thing that you might have. It might say free stress screening. It might say, come get your spine. Whatever it is, I don't care what you say, but make it sound appealing to the person to want to sit down in the chair. And here's what I say at first. And I'm going to be so far away, I'm going to say it with a low voice. And Adam's looking at this, and I'll say, which one applies to you? And he's going to say, what? And he's going to take a step closer, and I'm going to take a step further. I'll say, which one applies to you? And I'm going to give him a clipboard. That's it. You say it one time at a voice where they can't hear on purpose. Which one applies to you?
What?
Which one applies to you, Adam? Any of these apply to you? And
Yeah,
I'll give him the
but-
clipboard. As he's answering, I'm giving him a clip. Now he's stuck. He's not walking with my clipboard. He's got to fill it out. Okay? He's got to fill it out. He didn't come in for the stress screening. He came in for the eggs. His wife sent him for eggs, and he's going to walk away with an appointment. I promise you. So let's role play. He's going to sit right there. Actually, no, you're going to. Do we have a sit right over here? Okay. So Adam, what's going on with you? This is in the scripts, okay? It's in the script, so don't feel like you have to write this down. Okay. So what's going on with you, Adam?
Yeah, my back hurts.
Okay. How long have you had the back pain for?
It's about a year now.
Okay. Did it get worse recently, or has it been bad all the time?
I mean, it's probably getting a little bit worse, but I don't worry about it too much.
Okay. So why'd you stop by over here?
I mean, I was trying to get some eggs, but you asked me what.
No. But you were looking at it before. You got to
Yeah.
give me a little bit more than that. He's going to give me a little bit more. Look,
Okay,
recently it started.
Yeah, I mean, it started getting a little bit bad. I mean, I was practicing backflips and I landed on my head a couple times. And now it's just been getting worse,
Okay.
like right around here. So I'd never seen a chiropractor
Okay.
before. Can you help with that?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me tell you what I do and how I go about this. I'm going to show him the spine. Say, look, structure and function has everything to do with each other. If the body's out of position, it's going to affect how your body performs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what I'm doing today is I'm seeing if your spine has structural deformities, and if they do, I'll maybe give you some directions of what we've got to do with this. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to feel the spine. Now, forget the low back. I want you to see what I do with the neck, because there's a dance, and every single chiropractor, at least that I've encountered that worked for me, just goes right to the subluxation. They go right there, and they make it look too damn easy. And you've worked too hard to make it look too damn easy because the patient doesn't know how hard you've struggled. You didn't feel nothing for 3 or 4 years, right? All of a sudden, by your third year, is that it? Yeah. Oh, I've been looking for this thing for 3 years. And now you're going to go to right. That's the problem, right? And like, what kind of talent does that take? Okay, no. You're going to, okay, let's say C3 on the left, C5 on the right. I'm going to feel as 1, 2, 3. So I've gone to C3, I pushed a little bit more. C4, C5, C6, C5, C4, C3 a little bit more here. And by the way, notice, I'm going to take this off. I know that everyone does this already, but I'm making sure men don't put their hands on a person's head. That's the most annoying thing for women. Don't do this either. Put the middle finger and the thumb on the temples. That's it. It's least surface area, but have all the control in the world. That's all you need. So I can also feel when his eyes lift a little bit, I feel that little twitch on my fingertips if he has pain. Okay, so C3 right here, I go down, go up here, C3 again, press it again, go up, go right down. So I've gone I've touched 1, touched 2, touched 3. There's 3 touch points. I haven't said anything yet. C5, C6, C7, C6, C5, push a little harder, C4, C3, C2, C1, C5. So what he's feeling is I'm going there, touching it, going down, touching it, going up, going down, touching it. 3 times on both sides. Adam, did you feel when I went here and here, it felt a little like tender in those areas?
Yeah.
Now, he knows that I know. I didn't just say there's a tender there. I had to make him believe I worked for it. This is a show, guys. You're performing. Perform. Own it. Take your time. Because the more you own it, the more you take your time, the more you walk the person through it, the less they're going to think that you got lucky. And if it's in their head that you got lucky and they're not taking you seriously, you're not going to sign them up. This is communication. Okay? So what I felt over here, it was a little tender and your spine wasn't moving properly. Typically, when we have these issues, it's because your body might have had an old injury and the body healed wrong and scar tissue grew over the old injuries. Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't do anything about it, scar tissue continues to grow and grow and grow until eventually the scar tissue, Yara, pay attention, this sounds familiar, right, Celeste? Eventually the scar tissue will not allow the blood supply to get to the discs, and the discs start to shrink, and as the discs start to shrink, the bones become closer together again, and when the bones become too close, it's going to close the holes off. You like this over here? When the bones become too close, it's not going to allow the nerves to go through, and that's when we have problems going down the arms, and that's when potential surgeries might happen. Boom! You think that urgency went up to about a 9 or 10? Yeah! Can I make
get more of that?
Can I make a recommendation?
Yes.
I'm going to recommend you come into the office, and here's why. I'm just around the corner. If I can get you better by 20% in your very first visit, you're fixable. Okay? Now, it's a lot more happy to be healthy than it is to be sick. So can I make a recommendation?
Yes.
Let me show you the appointments that we have available. To make that appointment, it's 20 bucks. Now, some people charge more. Some people, my goal is to get you in the office. That's my goal. I want them in the office. If I can get you in the office and get you feeling better by 20%, you're fixable. It's 20 bucks for the first visit. That 20 bucks gets you x-rays, examination, history, and a free first visit, and a second visit follow-up, because I want to be able to see how you're feeling and how your body accepted the adjustments. Based upon subjective and objective information, if you're feeling better by 20%, we'll decide what kind of program we should put you on to get you fixed, not just healing better. Yes.
Can I make a clarifying
Yes. Yes.
I'm hearing you say a lot of the stuff that I've arrived at within the past recent years, having come up in chiropractic and the vitalistic community. It can be taught to you that what Phil just explained to him of what are the long-term consequences of remaining subluxated is scare care, and that what he alluded to in the beginning of the talk, that if you are more of a vitalistic communicator, you are not going to capture the attention of the person in front of you because you have to speak to what they understand. So when Gina talks to me in Spanish, I don't fucking understand what she's saying. That same mismatch can happen when you are using English to an English-speaking person who doesn't understand chiropractic the way you do. You need to speak chiropractic in a framework that they can embody and integrate into their life story.
Yep.
And who here gets pissed off at the medical community for not explaining the long-term consequences of pharmaceutical use or surgeries to people?
Absolutely.
Why are you pissed off when people tell people what is going to happen if you stay subluxated for the rest of your life? It's not scare care, it's educated information.
Thank you.
Stop being afraid to tell the chiropractic message because somebody told you it's scare care, or because somebody told you have to speak about the fucking universe to the first person that you see.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't give them the major premise on the first visit. But I did. Arno was my guy. Arno was giving me, he was the only guy in the world that could do that and get away with it. I tried that for 4 years and I couldn't get it, and I did.
I struggled like you. It pissed me off. I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah. And finally I did it Eric's way. It was much more, like you said, directed where patients were there. And it just worked. And that's what we did. So there's 4 things, and when that QR code, it's pretty much what I just said. Can I make a recommendation? I'm going to recommend you come into the office and here's why. Reason number 1, reason number 2, reason number 3, reason number 4, how to qualify, it's 20 bucks. For that, you get the examination history, x-ray, you get a free treatment, and plus you're going to get a free visit follow-up so I can see how you're feeling and how your body accepted the adjustments. Based upon subjective and objective information, I'll have an idea what kind of program we're going to put you on, and we're not going to just get your body to feel better, but I want to fix the problem. Fair enough, Adam? And I'll say, could I show you the appointments that we have available? And I'm going to direct him. It's all in there, guys. I'm going to direct Adam to, let's say, Kathy, who's at my front desk. She's the people that's signing people up. And she's got a list of cards, appointments that he's going to pick. Okay, we've already been pre-screened. 7, 8, 9 on Wednesday. Thursday, it's going to be 9, 10, 12, 4. Friday, it's going to be 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. He's going to pick a card. So 3 o'clock is now gone. He's going to take that card. We're going to get a stress survey. We're going to keep the stress survey that he filled out. He's going to pay the $20. The $20 is going to get attached to the stress survey so we know he paid. He's going to get the card with the folder, and he's going to have directions, and he's going to have a QR code to fill out the forms and all that. The day before he's supposed to come on in, he's already paid me $20. If he doesn't pay, the question is, no one's asking this question yet, but what happens if he doesn't have the money? Bullshit. No one goes to a farmer market without money. Everybody has money. If they don't have the money, they're lying to you. That means they're just not interested. And don't give them an appointment. Who's done that? Who's given the person an appointment at a spinal screening without taking any money? How did it go?
They usually don't show up.
There you go. Save your card. You too, Adam? Yeah. Fucking A. Me too, by the way. Thank you. Me too. That's why I don't do it. Like, I get burned so many times. Every single person that I really want to come on in. I promise. If I had $1 for every person that just wanted to come on in and forgot their wallet, so I'm just done with that. Take the money. It's $20. It's not. And I also say sometimes this, Mary, I don't get rich off the $20, but I get the opportunity to see who I can help and who I can't help. Okay? Just pay. If they want to know why they got to pay $20, I says I don't get rich off the $20, but I get a chance to see who I can help and who I can't help. So that's what I'll say. Leave it alone at that. 80% of the people that pay $20 will show up. 5% of the people that pay nothing will show up. Every now and then, someone shows up, right? And you're like, oh, you showed up. But most of them don't. Okay. Now, why do I love spinal screenings? Because if you could say that, then you're halfway done to learning how to do a day one and how to do a day two. Because Celeste, you do my day ones and day twos in Bowie, right? And what you heard in a spinal screening, that sounds very similar to a hodgepodge of day one and day two, right?
Super similar.
Right? That's the communication. It's all about communication, positioning yourself and the person so you can have a successful second visit and a successful third visit. Aunt Joanne Mason Parker, she's my aunt. She was the youngest U.S. 9-ball pool champion ever. She was 19 years old. And I had a chance, I'm tight with her. And I said, so now she's coaching. She's coaching like, high-level amateur pool players. And I said, so what's the difference between an amateur and a professional and a champion? She said, amateur pool players should get every ball in the pocket that they should get. High-level amateurs. Professionals are thinking 2 balls ahead. Champions are seeing 3 balls and 4 balls ahead. If you're going to be a champion chiropractor, you're not just caring about the day one. You're positioning yourself for success for day 2 and beyond. Okay? If you're seeing things and you've done this 10,000 times, you already know the way it's going to happen. You already see the issues that are going to happen. And if you're a champion, you're going to get ahead of those issues and you're going to cover them. That's part of my day 2. I don't know if we're going to have enough time for all of this, but I'm going to give you what I can. So, purpose of spinal screenings. Why do I love them so much? Not much financial risk to the new practitioner. You're brand new, get out there, do spinal screenings 3 times a week. If you're not seeing people, get out there. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It costs your time. But A, it sucks to be in an office when no one's there. Who's in a brand new office and then no one's there? You know, I was there. Were you there a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I was there.
Fucking sucks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Get your ass outside, man. Just do spinal screenings all day. Where are you practicing?
I'm in Colorado.
So there's going to be a couple of months where you can, but there's going to be a couple of months where you can't. If you're in Florida, you got no reason, right, Dylan? You can do spinal screenings all year long.
Rain or shine, it gets hot in the summer. We just take our shirt off.
It's an attraction, man.
Look like this, it'll attract people to the booth.
Turn on some bass music.
And that's awesome. So, that's it's very, very inexpensive. It's very inexpensive, and you have to get good at your communication. Because I promise you, the first day you walk out and no one shows up, it's the worst feeling in the world. So once you have the script, and you'll start. Adam, I've given you the script, right? Is it starting to work a little bit better? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Good. It works pretty good, right? It's a little because you're a little bit more in control, right, of the script. So you have an idea of where direction you're going to go in. You have a close. You got to have a close. If you don't have a close, it's really hard to get people to come into your office. So I love spinal screenings. And myself, I did over, you did the numbers, 30 spinal screenings a year for 17 years, and on average, 50 people per spinal screening. So 50 times 25,000 people. Yeah. So I did 25,000 people. I got pretty good at it, okay? You do 10,000 spinal screenings, you're going to be a master of communication. If you do that, you're going to know, you're going to be a ninja. That's how you build a practice. That's a way to build a practice. As you get older and more advanced and you have a little bit of money, you start investing in digital marketing, okay? That guy over there, that's my son, Dylan. He's my vice president of growth, okay? You want to stand up and talk about a little bit of sophistication of what we do now at RX Wellness?
I can talk a little bit.
Yeah.
So we get about 200 new patients a week across our 12 clinics. That's about 18 on average a week. We do... A little louder. Sorry.
Come over here.
Yeah, sure. I wasn't prepared to speak.
I know.
Speak a little bit. I run a marketing team of 10 team members, 5 offshore, 5 onshore. We do digital marketing, so that's Google. We publish 40 new pages to the website each week. We do SEO, AEO, so for AI models, Google Ads, social media on all channels, event marketing, so spinal screenings, referrals. We help increase referrals too, and that all amounts to about 200 new patients across the 12 offices per week, about 18 per office per week, and that's enough to help them grow. So it's about 70 new patients a month for each office. That's what I build all day, help our doctors grow so that they can focus on serving and giving the best care. They never have to worry about, is another person going to come in my door? That's really my goal. So, yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Okay, thank you. Now, by the way, so check this out. I got kicked out of my marketing meeting. True or not? I'm not helpful. Here's why. So they're all like going, how do we get more people in? Guys, if you got 18 new people in every week, do you think you need more new people? What do you think? Someone hands you 18 new people? I said, when I first got in my practice, I got 5 new people a week if I was lucky. If I did a spinal screening every single week, I got 5. Okay? They're getting 18. I go, they don't got a new patient problem. They got a retention and a conversion problem. And I was so livid because I realized that's why now I'm going, right, Yara? I'm going back to the basics. I'm retraining and retraining and retraining because really, guys, you can learn a day 1 and day 2 script. And if you learned it 5 years ago, I promise you, whatever you learned 5 years ago, you ain't doing what you read 5 years ago. You got laxed. You got soft. Okay? The words that you said that were tight are not there anymore. Every single 3 months, I recommend this. You go back to training. Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, God rest her soul, right? Michael Jordan, the top level, LeBron James, all these top level, even professional basketball, anything professional. They have coaches still, right? Right? I'm a musician, I told you about it, right? Tony Bennett was taking voice lessons until he died. Lady Gaga takes voice lessons every single day. And she's a gifted voice, but she practices every single day with her coach. So when you get a script, you practice that script every single, at least once a week. I would recommend 3 or 4 times a week. Because I promise you, what you think you know now, in 6 months, it's going to be completely bastardized. And it's not going to be as powerful, and you're not going to convert the same way you were converting when you first learned it. I promise you. Your statistics are going to go down, and you're going to blame the patient. You're going to think that the patients are different. That's bullshit. The patients aren't different. You're different. You're different. So keep on learning that script and stop getting lazy. That's really what it's about. So I got kicked out of my marketing meeting. It's my marketing meeting that I'm not allowed to be on right now because it's not a new patient thing. It's a conversion and it's a retention thing. Now, education. We're all about educating, right? As Dr. Jordan said, we don't really educate in the first visit and on the second visit, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do when a person accepts care. Because that's when education starts, on the very second visit. So when Adam says, Adam, what day and time works best for you? Say Monday, Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
I like Monday at 9.
Monday at 9? What about Wednesday?
At 10.
10 o'clock?
Yeah.
So Monday, Wednesday, okay. Great. Welcome to the office. Now, he just accepted care. That's my close for, so do you want to come under for care? No. So what day and time works best for you? And I'll teach this to you if we have time. At that point, I'll put him on the table and I'll touch his ankle and I'll say, Adam, this part of you, now it's no more scar tissue, degeneration. It's like, Adam, this part of your body is connected to your brain, wired by nerves. Then I'm going to touch his low back. Adam, this part of your body is connected to the brain, wired by nerves. Adam, your heart, your lungs, your liver, your spleen, everything is connected to your brain, wired by nerves. And all those nerves go into your spine. So we're adjusting your spine, obviously to break some of that scar tissue down, so there's no more degeneration. But in addition, your heart, your lung, your liver, your kidneys, every single system in your body is going to work better because we're going to align everything that takes the pressure off those nerves. Isn't that cool? And if you got the eyes that I get all the time, holy shit, I'm paying for back pain, but I'm getting this, fucking A, man, this is great. And they're hooked. That's when you start educating. That's when you can start teaching them chiropractic philosophy or whichever way you want to do chiropractic education. That's when you go there. But they got to first accept the care plan. Can you help? How long is it going to take? And what's it going to cost? Those are the 3 things you have to nail down. Can you help? How long is it going to take? And what's it going to cost? If you can answer those 3 questions in day 1 and day 2, I promise you, and then educate them. If you start educating them before you answer the 3 questions, how long is it going to take and what's it going to cost and can you help me? They don't care about being educated. But once they've accepted care, then they're like, wow, I get that in addition. Right, Doc Jordan? That's how it is. You got to have this. I've done it for 30 years, so if it sounds like, holy shit, you can get this way, guys. I've done it for 30 years, I promise you. When I heard Dr. John DeMartini, ever hear Dr. John DeMartini speak? Okay. We brought him into chiropractic college when I was a student, and he was probably better than me. I was like, oh my God, he's amazing. Well, he'd done it for 30 years, so when you get good at something and you keep on mastering it and keep on practicing, I train 6 doctors every single week, 3 times a week. I train 6 doctors a week, 3 times a week. I'm still training my doctors, so of course I know my scripts. Of course I'm tight on these things, but you got to be just as tight for your own scripts. If you're just as tight, I promise you, you're not going to have as much of a new patient problem as you think you're going to have because you're going to be able to convert everything as long as you're tight. It's always about mastering the basics. I'm giving you the basics for my spinal screening. Again, this is what it's at right here. Now, I think we're going to go to right here. There's 5 ways to grow a practice. Are we learning something today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. Good. I want to make sure that you guys can walk away with good sauce.
You're doing fantastic. You got 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
To do that to you.
All right. That's it. Time goes fast. It's 5 ways to grow a practice. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave this here, and then I'm going to leave room for some questions. Okay? Because I'm not going to be able to do my day 1 and day 2. That's another hour, and it wouldn't be fair for me to start something and not even come close to giving you what you need. 5 ways to grow a practice. Write this down. More new patients. It makes sense, right? Got to have more new patients. Second way is higher conversions. We just talked about that. Master the scripts. Master your scripts for higher conversions. Longer care plans. I see chiropractors in my offices, they're 100% conversion, but then I look a little deeper, and they're only recommending 5 visits. 5 visits? The fuck is that? Of course you're going to be perfect. 5 visits? So it's got to be minimum 24 visits when a person's coming. Like with an exception, if it's like a baby, no, you're not going to put them on a 24-visit care plan. It's going to be, right? It's going to be a lot less than that. But higher care plans. 24 visits, 30 visits, that's my sweet spot, okay? Successful progress reports. Just because a person accepts a care plan does not mean they're going to be coming in for all 24 or 30 visits. Every 10 visits, do a progress report. What's a progress report? A progress report, this is my day 2. We're going to see how your body's progressing. If you're ahead of schedule, okay, but we still have scar tissue in your spine, we might bring it down to once a week, but it doesn't mean you're done. The goal for your first progress report is to get you better by at least 50%. They want to know, can you help me? If you're better by at least 50%, but there's still scar tissue, we're going to keep you on to twice a week. If after that second 20th visit, the second progress report, the 20th visit, if you're feeling better by at least 90% better or 100%, but you still have scar tissue, we're going to bring you down to once a week because I want to bring back all the scar tissue, stabilize your spine so your body can stabilize where it needs to be, and we can buy back another 30 years of your spine. That's a successful progress report. You have to master the progress report to maintain retention. If you don't have progress reports, I recommend that there are also reevaluations. I recommend you continue or consider doing progress reports because that's what keeps the engine churning. Just because they said yes doesn't mean they're going to say yes for 24 or 30 visits. You've got to have progress reports every step of the way. And the last way is a successful conversion of reevaluations into wellness programs. Okay, if you can convert 50% of your visits, 50% of your patients that complete your 24 or 30 visit program, if you can convert 50% of those people onto wellness care twice a month for the rest of their life, twice a month for the rest of their life, how many people do you have to have a successful practice? If you've got 500 people that are coming in every other week, that's a base of 250. If you have 1,000 people under chiropractic care for wellness every other week, that's 500 people a week. You don't need another new patient. That's all you got to do. You won in life. Just keep seeing those people and you're good. So the 5 things are more new people, higher conversions, longer care plans, successful progress reports, and conversions of reevaluations into wellness care programs at the end of an initial program. That's it. Those are the ways to do it. Questions? Yes, sir. What's your name?
I'm JC.
Hey, JC. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Doc. What's your biggest lesson that you've learned in life?
Get a coach. Well, in life?
That's your biggest
Oh,
lesson
in life. This is beyond chiropractic.
Yeah, beyond chiropractic.
Okay.
That you feel comfortable sharing.
Do I sound like I have a filter? I don't have a filter. Make sure the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, make sure the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with is the right person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because the first person I chose wasn't the right person, and I knew it walking down the aisle. And that is putting me in a vulnerable situation, but you asked. The second person I found was the right person, and my life was good. It wasn't bad, my first 15 years. But my life is magnificent with the right person. So, to answer your question, if you find the right person, if you find your soulmate, if you find the person that you know without a doubt who you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with, you will have a magnificent life. That's the answer. Next question. Now, if you get one good shot, please send it to me. All right, just a couple. All right. We good there? Oh, yes, sir.
Do you utilize like virtual assistants? Like I heard him say like offshore.
I have a team of them.
Stand up.
He has one for his social media. So if you follow him on Instagram, he'd appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Phil, Philgol. And by the way, I give free shit away all the time. This stuff that I taught you right now, I give a lot of this stuff away on social media. So you want some, just grab it. Yes, sir.
As a student, since you tend to have a limit in your like the capacity of what you can learn while you're also learning school and stuff,
Yeah.
would you say that it is which one is more difficult to be in practice and having an established practice and learning business systems and how to make a business successful, or to learn chiropractic artistry?
In practice?
When you were in practice, which one is the harder circumstance to deal with? The fact that your artistry is not where you want it to be, or the fact that your business is not where it needs to be?
Okay. Parallel questions, and both. The answer is both. Because when anybody first graduates, where they're going to be in 5 years for artistry and for business is not where they are now, right? Like the guy I was 5 years ago isn't that same guy in everything. So most of us that were, look, anybody here in Pearson, Florida, let's face it, you're a disciple of Arnaud Bernier, of KTC, of Monomaster. You're a disciple of someone. So you're already on the path of artistry, okay? Business wasn't necessary. Again, I told you, I don't want to be known as the business guy because that would kind of suck because I'm much more than just that. But I had to develop business stuff to manage because my true desire was to build artists. That was really what my end goal was. It wasn't to do this thing that you see on social media. It was really to build really cool. I'll tell you why. Here's why, guys. Anyone go to a bad restaurant? Right? Bad meal? You never went back to that restaurant, or maybe you just didn't order that same order, right? What about a bad dentist? You ever go to a bad dentist? Did you shun the profession of dentistry? No, you just went to a different dentist, right? What about massage? I'll keep on going down the list until we say chiropractic. And how many people have said to you when they finally came to see you, I had a bad adjustment 20 years ago, and I swear I was never going to go back to a chiropractor. All the time, right? So I want to make sure that never happens under my watch. When someone comes into RX Wellness, they're damn well going to get a life-changing, life-experiencing adjustment. That's my purpose, to make sure that the person gets seen, they get the life thrown through, so the life force is fully released. That was so important to me that if they do go to California after they leave RX Wellness, that when they go, if they do have, God forbid, a bad chiropractic experience, they're going to remember the experience that they had with us and say, you know what, I had a better experience. I'm going to keep on moving on until I find that same experience that I had with RX. And that's what I want you guys to have in your mind's eye. Give them the best experience in the world, not for your own practice. It'll help you, but it's going to help our profession. And that's really what we're here to do, lift our profession. Okay? All right, that's my time. Last question.
What would you recommend in picking the right mentor or coach? What should we look for? Or
Man.
what questions should we ask to see if they're
So here's the thing. When I found Arnaud, I followed him around like a shadow. Like, it wasn't like I asked them questions. My soul moved. Like when I met Arnaud. And by the way, you'll find mentors throughout your life for whatever you need to move towards. You'll find them. Arnaud was perfect for me when I was learning philosophy, but when I was learning for business, dude, he and I split up for 15 years. We didn't talk for 15 years. How about that? It wasn't that I didn't lose the love for him. I got reconnected with him 7 years before he passed, okay? But for 15 years, I had to move on my way because if I was still with Arnaud, I promise you RX Wellness wouldn't have existed because I knew Phil, this is not chiropractic. Phil, are you sure this is the direction you want to go in? Phil, it would have been like I loved Arnaud. Like I wanted to please him. That was my relationship. So to answer your question, I don't know. When your soul moves, you know, I mean, by the way, I'm very, very in tune with putting it out to the universe, like having full conscious expectations when you meditate. And I meditate every day. My third eye is open every day. And like I heard you say, and I was smiling, man, you have vibrational frequency of like the spinal cord. And when your third eye is open, that vibrational frequency is like 10x or 100x. When you start putting your intentions down, your master will appear. Your mentor will come right to you.
Two very important pieces with finding your ideal mentor and coach. They'll be the best for you if they're living and practicing a way that you want. And this is the most important piece. Your coach, your mentor, your guide has to want you to be better than them.
Fuck yeah.
They have to want you to go the distance. If you are building them, not the right mentor or coach. But if they are pouring everything into you, that means that every time you win, they feel the win.
Yes.
Tim Young is amazing at this.
Yeah.
There's no one around Tim Young that's like Tim Young just makes everyone around him better. That's the vibration. They have to want you to be better, independent of them. That's the best mentoring coach.
That's the answer right there. Well said. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to be here all around, so just peg me for questions. Thank you, guys.